Hey fly tires, welcome back. Or if this is your first time to the channel, welcome. My name is Matt, and this channel is all about creating flies that you will want to learn how to tie and fish. Today's pattern is a Martinez Black. It's a general purpose, very dark, very buggy nymph. You can find the recipe almost anywhere online. I got it from Mike Valla's Tying the Founding Flies, a great book. If you haven't picked this up, check it out. So I think you're going to like tonight's. Let's get started. I will explain the materials as I go and put the recipe in the description. Now this can be tied on the size 8 and as small as a size 12 per the original design. I'm using a size 12. It's a little easier to show in the bigger pattern. Size 12, 1x long standard nymph hook. I'm going to lay down a base of black 70 denier UTC. Now the original tail of this guy was either Guinea or a mottled soft hackle fibers. Common today is Partridge or still Guinea. If you've got a black and white Guinea, go ahead and use that. If not, just use a speckled Partridge. It's got the same consistency. Tail length about a hook gap. So go ahead and catch that in. Don't worry too much if you leave some bugginess right there. You'll see why in just a minute. Now the rib on this is, I'm using gold tinsel oval and a size medium. So get that caught in, pulled back just a little bit. I will lock it down up front and take my thread back to the tail. Okay, now the next part is the only challenging part of this fly is the dubbing. And the original pattern calls for seal dubbing, black dyed seal fur. Now if you haven't been out clubbing any baby seals recently and you don't have seal fur, the next best is possum, dyed black possum. But also, not everybody has possum. So, third option is just wool. And I've seen people tie it with rabbit, so any fur, but wool or rabbit is not going to get you as buggy of a body as the original. So this is Euro Seal blend right here, dyed black. This is very hard to work with. I mean, hard to make it look really good. So I'm going to speed this up. You'll see in a minute how buggy this thing is going to be, but it'll take me a couple of noodles to get this looking okay. Okay, I told you it was going to be a big mess, but the good thing about this medium-sized tinsel is if you put these wraps fairly close together, you will bind a lot of that down and remove a fair amount of that bugginess. Not all of it, but a good bit of it. Don't worry about that front wrap. That's going to be covered by a Thorax and a Wingcase in just a second. But now is probably the time that you'll want to do any cleanup. So I'll go ahead and do a little cleanup. Won't make you watch that in real time. Okay, so I did a little bit of trimming right there. It's still pretty buggy. Now the good thing, if you substituted rabbit or wool for it, you wouldn't have that step to do so much cleanup. The next component is Swiss straw or dyed raffia grass. It's this piece right here. It looks very brittle, but this is actually a very, very strong material. Now it's already folded over once. I'm going to fold it over again to make it just a little bit smaller. You don't need too much to get your wing case there. So do that right there. You see I've got it a little bit smaller right now. Just going to catch this in. Check your position. You want it right on the top. Okay, that looks fine. Now catch it in about a little over that first wrap. Judge about how long you want your wing case to be. I'll go ahead and bind this in. Now for the thorax, either more of this seal fur, possum or rabbit, wool, whatever you're using. You don't need that much wax. Or you could use black chenille. But since I've got my seal fur out, I'm going to just go ahead and do another little noodle of this. Okay, now that you got a little bit of a thorax there, go ahead and fold your wing case over. A couple of wraps to secure that in, maybe one more in front and one on top. Get it tight, take a look at your position. It's not too late to change it if you want. Still got some of that seal fur I'll have to clean up like we did just a minute ago. And reach in here and trim your raffia grass or Swiss straw down as close as you got it. Now if you don't have that material, it's not an expensive or rare material, but not everybody has Swiss straw. Just use floss, whatever, the green color floss if you've got it. Okay, the hackle, really the last component we have, just partridge. Get a small partridge feather, fold it back, and then trim out the tip to where you get the little triangle you're familiar with. So there's the piece where I've grabbed the tip and pulled these feathers back and then snipped it off. So go ahead and catch this in concave side toward the hook. I'm going to 2 or 3 wraps right there, and then if you can, fold that up over on itself just for a couple more securing wraps. Right there, we should be able to clean all that up in the head. Now grab your hackle pliers, your blue ones. Don't use your black ones for this. I'm kidding, use any ones you got. But these with a little spring-loaded clip are a little bit easier when you're working with a small partridge feather. Now we may get 2 wraps or may just get 1.5. Either's probably going to be fine. It's a fairly sparsely dubbed nymph. Okay, it looks like I got 2 wraps on it right there. So go ahead and catch that in. Snip off your butt end here, your excess. Now let's just preen these back and ramp up our head. Got one loose one right there I snipped that didn't want to fall off. Okay, so pull those back and wrap my head. I will start right behind the eye and then build that ramp up. And should capture all your stubby butt ends right there. We got one uncooperative fiber sticking up right there, but that's fine. I don't think the fish are going to mind. Fly time police probably don't mind either. So a quick little whip finish. Drop a head cement, maybe a little bit of cleanup. That seal fur will go everywhere on you. But I think this one looks fine. I would fish this exactly like it is. Put a drop of head cement on it first. But there you go, folks. The Martinez Black, classic nymph from the 1930s and 40s. Very popular in America. I appreciate you watching. So thanks again. We'll see you next time.